Cool. Well, we'll get started. And with that, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Loud, an alternative music podcast. I'm your host, Tomye West. Joining me, sitting next to me again, is Cody. You're gonna fix your name up, bro.
I can be Alan for this episode.
You can be. There we go. Joining me next is my co-host, Cody O'Connor, and my other co-host, Kyron James. Kieran.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. And without further ado, we'd like to welcome our guest onto the show for today, Stokesy, the guitarist and vocals from Drastic Park. So,
What's going on? I just realized I'm still wearing my thing from the gig last night. So there you go.
Oh, nice. What gig did you play?
We supported Real Friends. They came over from America, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Did that with our Catholic guild. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really good show.
Nice.
Good fun.
That's awesome, man.
Where did you guys play?
Played at Stay Gold.
Nice.
I think that's in Melbourne. So wait, where are you guys?
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sweet. Yeah.
I'm like half between though. Like I'm from where Kyron's from, but I'm living with Tom now. Like I've been in Melbourne for a few years, so I still don't know where too many venues are and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's just in the city.
Kyron's not Melbourne.
It's just in Bronx.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Kyron's Rockhampton, yeah?
Yeah, Rocky.
Queensland boy.
Yeah.
Away from it all. Sucks.
Yeah, so you played Stay Gold, man. Like, the Last Martyr, we're friends with the Last Martyr as well, and they recently played a couple of shows there, I think, within a last year or so, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many venues down here.
Yeah, I think I worked with Ricky recently on a music video. Like he came and helped out on a video, which was awesome.
Oh, awesome, man.
For our Analog Hope, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, like we can't wait to start playing shows ourselves, bro. Like it's been so long. Like we had so much trouble during lockdown. What did you find with our COVID lockdown and the band?
Oh, that's when we kind of flourished. Actually, we kind of did.
We've heard that a lot.
Did well.
A couple of other bands that we've like done on the show as well. Like people couldn't be playing shows, but could like be doing other things as well. So it's cool to know that you guys could still generate progress and stuff whilst not being able to play.
Yeah, it's a funny one because I think we did well because I don't want to say it's just because of me, but because I just love making memes and I was just making all this video content because I'm a video editor and just putting all that stuff together. So we did a couple parodies and stuff and got a good following from that. We did a parody called Karen's Song, which was just basically a parody of Adam's song, but about the Karens that were fighting in Bunnings and shit. so that took off. It got like 300,000 views. But it was also we just got a brand new drummer at that time too. Like just before COVID hit, we got a new drummer, Joe, and that's the first time the band really clicked. And so we as soon as he joined, we were just the three best of friends, and we just played the Corner Hotel supporting Anti-Skeptic. And then COVID hit then, and we're like, we got all this momentum. What do we do? And I think a lot of bands kind of like were just like, let's take a break until it ends, and then it never ended. And we were lucky enough to not do that because we were just like, let's just keep going. And I think we all wanted to drop new music, but we didn't want to drop the stuff the good stuff we were sitting on, which is what we've dropped recently. So we're like, let's just write some stuff and just get good at recording and things like that. And so we just recorded a bunch of really crappy demos and sent it off to Coach Canatelli, who kind of coached the band, and he's like, no, you have to release them. And so that was the EP Imposter Syndrome, which we hate. we hate listening back to because we mixed and mastered it, and it's just a mess. But we can't hate it too much because we kind of took off with it. I think we're one of those few bands that were released a fair chunk of music during those lockdowns. And, while everyone's on their phones and listening, it did really well. In between lockdowns, filmed a music video with Cassie from Terra because she jumped in on a song. And, just went really well. And then lockdown ended and we could finally start going off and recording properly. So these more recent songs we're a lot more proud of. But, have a soft spot for that EP just because it helped us out so much during that period.
Yeah, for
Yeah, that's
sure.
awesome, man. Yeah, it was a similar thing with our band, which was that I had like started looking for members just before COVID hit. And then as we started like meeting members and progressing and meeting up and writing and stuff, we formed in the midst of all the shit. You know what I mean? All the chaos. So it's really good to finally come out of it, and we're starting to track songs and things like that and getting ready for a launch. But yeah, man, we're just antsy to get it done because we weren't as proactive as you guys during quarantine. We yeah, it kind of stopped us in our tracks for a little bit, but we kind of kept trying to come back with different angles, and it's finally getting somewhere now. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's positives from it and negatives from it. You know what I mean? Like we kind of like look at that EP on Spotify and we're like, oh, can we just delete it?
Yeah.
it's got a fair
That's
few
like-
streams. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
like
funny.
a track with my band. Like you look back at it and it's like, oh, I kind of want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I think we remastered one of the songs, so we're gonna get rid of the old one. But
Yeah, I think we want to kind of, because there's some good songs and we kind of just want to re-record it well and then kind of quietly get rid of it without anyone noticing. It's fun. It was so funny though, because when we dropped Work of Art, it like did so well. Like everyone like loved it, and it got a really good response. But we had a few producers who would message us, like literally like 4 or 5 producers messaged me and said, "Hey, Work of Art is sick. Can I have a go at remixing it?" I'm like,
that's
good
cool.
backhanded compliment.
That's so funny. You could do like a collab album just to show off different producers.
Yeah,
like
get
an EP.
remixing.
Be like, this is the same song mixed by 6 different people. There's an EP of ours. Like,
I actually said no because I'm like, oh, you know what? I just purely for the sake of I don't want you to hear these stems.
So
fun.
yeah,
I still can't get over the fact you guys play with real friends. That's fucking sick.
yeah.
That was really cool.
How was the crowd like? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, we had a decent crowd at the start. But yeah, they kind of started, as it happens these days, everyone starts to pile in kind of halfway through the main support on these kind of gigs when you got an international band. But yeah, we got. Oh man, we got a fair few new followers from it and stuff, and there were lots of new faces there. We didn't have many people that we knew, which is kind of the way we wanted it, and we still made like almost $500 in merch. Like people still vibed it, which is cool. So nice. It's really good, but it's also just crazy seeing a band like Real Friends, they're like so professional and they just get up and it's like you're listening just to the recordings. They're like that good at their live music and their craft. So that's what we aspire to be one day.
For sure. Did you get to hang out with the band much, or did they kind of do their own thing?
A little bit. They definitely their drummer was hanging out with us a bit. Like and he was definitely nerding over drummers with our drummer. But they were very busy. Like they didn't have many opportunities to really catch up and talk because they were literally just like. Because
I shouldn't go because we're playing the next venue like the next night or whatever.
Yeah. I think they've just had a long road and like they just come from Brisbane, I think, and I remember the guitarist said on stage, like the bassist said to me, "You all right? How are you feeling?" He's like, "I don't know." He looks so tired.
Delirious by this point. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're playing your guitar that well and you're that delirious, then like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like one last thing I'll say is it's cool that they're still doing international tours and stuff because they parted ways with their original vocalist like almost 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, which is kind of sad because like as good as they are, he was very quirky in a way. Like he
was a very good frontman for them.
He brought a lot of character into that band, and look, the new singer is an amazing singer, like a real quality singer, but he doesn't really have that quirk and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, look, it's always hard when you replace a frontman. So, and like he was like last night, he's a really, really good performer, like really good. So, like definitely live aspect doesn't change at all. It's just that kind of, it's like that fan factor of like
You could maybe almost liken it to like when Adrian left Northlane. and then Marcus came in because Marcus.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
Everyone loved Adrian. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah,
the same
I mean,
thing,
look.
Escape the Fate with Ronnie Radke and Craig
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm a Blink-182 fan, and it's funny because it's the other way around for me because Tom DeLonge left Blink-182 and then gets replaced with Matt like ages later, and there's all these Blink fans hating it and saying they missed Tom. I'm just like, I don't. He really sucked towards the end. He was really bad. he can't sing, and he's just
he's not a very good guitarist either. He's
he's not.
pretty rough, dude. But one of my favorite live performances to watch ever, I watch it all the time still, is Blink-182 live at Sydney Big Day Out. Because
oh my
that
god,
show is fucking hilarious, bro. Like how they just started off with that shit piss fuck cunt song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they just talk shit and they just bag each other out on stage. Like when he says, I got, you want to see some of my sperm? I got some here. They're on Mark's teeth. And then Mark goes, they're only on my teeth because I ate out your mom, you asshole.
That's a great oh my god.
Oh, I love watching that performance, man. It's so good.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, I think like that's kind of what we want to do live, but at the same time, we're very conscious that people already liken us to Blink-182, so we're like, let's not be too jokey on stage, even though we love having a laugh. That's the thing, though, because we were almost Blink-182 were like parents for us. We were just brought up on them, so like our sense of humor is their sense of humor, so we have to tone down being too much like them, I think.
That's it's funny though, because when I got to finally go see Blink-182 or 182, however you want to call it, when I got to see them live, finally, I saw them at Festival Hall when they did their self-titled tour. So that was the first time I got to see them, and they stopped being jokey at that point. They were like not getting on with each other in the band. And they were like on stage. I was like waiting for the fun. And they were just they were like, "I miss you," serious.
They're playing the music.
And that was kind of upsetting. So, because I really wanted that fun aspect. I don't know if anyone else really compared them back then, but I was like, I miss the jokey Blink-182. Like, that's
I've never gotten a chance to see the original lineup. You know what I mean? I've only seen Tom, Mark, Travis, and Travis didn't come over, so I saw him for the first time at Soundwave because when I got into him, it was pretty much too late. Like I got him, and I was also too young to go to shows. So yeah, that was sad.
That with that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. What would be some of your favorite like shows you've attended that you haven't played as well?
It's hard to go past that Blink-182 show just because of the build up. Even that Soundwave, even though Travis wasn't there, it was just the build up of my life and like never seeing them, and because they broke up and stuff, and then they just randomly came back. In terms of like other shows, I had a really good show. Like one of my favorites was Violent Soho. They played at the 170 Russell. That was really sick.
I love billboards, man.
Yeah, Billboard. I was trying not to say Billboard there, but I had to remember the actual number of the street. But I'm used to it being Billboard because of the nightclub. And you know what? Like, I actually just love seeing local bands sometimes, and like I'll never forget. It's one of the most memorable things. I'll never forget. First time I saw Clay J. Gladstone, who is a band that we've toured with. Shout out Clay J. Gladstone, check it out, because I'd never seen that kind of, like at one point he just takes his pants off in the middle of a show, and all while singing his notes perfectly. I'm just like, what is happening? This is amazing. I'm like, but that was cool. But I think. Yeah, it's hard to compare because I think all the bigger bands I've seen, you're a bit disconnected from it. Like, probably one of the biggest I've seen is like, outside of like festivals and stuff is like Paramore, but it's just like that was at Festival Hall and you feel so far away. And I think the intimate shows I think have the better memories at, because otherwise you're just watching what you might see on a screen later when it's filmed, but like at a live show, because you're up front and you can do the mic grabs and stuff. I think that's the most fun.
Yes, definitely.
Well, the shows I've been to at Billboards have always been the best shows because it's not a huge venue, but it's also decent enough that it does feel like an event. You know what I mean? It's not too small locally sort of feeling. It's more like, yeah, this is a big act, but they're, doing size decent crowds. I mean, what's the capacity of that venue? Do you know? Is it like it's got to be 2,000? Yeah.
Yeah, surely.
2,000 roughly, probably.
It's a pretty big room then.
Probably 1,000, I think.
Maybe.
I mean, it's definitely bigger, but I feel like just the general stage area is probably about 1,000. I don't know. I'm really bad at counting, guys.
We're in so many.
Is this in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's like the main venue where like sort of the bands that we're into would play. So like I've seen like Falling in Reverse there. I saw the Used there. Story of the Year played there. Heaps of bands. So
for the small amount of bands that Central Queensland got, the shows that Kyron and I got to go to were actually pretty good.
I remember seeing In Heart's Wake in Gladstone, and they were right there, man. I was like, holy fuck. These guys are wicked.
Like, because we're not Melbourne or whatever back up there, we don't get like crazy bands all the time. But even like a week or two before I came back down to Melbourne, Die Out played in Gladstone, which was sick.
Yeah, that was dope.
Favorite show I ever got to watch.
I got my mate to play guitar with him, bro. I held a little sign up.
No way.
It fucking worked. It was so dope.
So he got up on stage and like played a song with them.
They gave him in-ears and everything and got him up, and he fucking shredded it. They turned him down. They said they turned him down at the start because they were like, "Oh, we don't know."
I don't know.
But then he just started fucking playing, and they're like, we'll give this guy a shot, and he was just like shredding, man. It was so good. Yeah, I asked him when we went there. I was like, "Bro, do you know any songs of theirs?" And he's like, "Oh, I know Holy War." And I'm like, all right. So he would go and have a shower, and I wrote this little sign out. I can play Holy War on guitar. Because I saw the Kiss guy from
Dude, you're the best man ever. Holy fuck.
Dude. And I was like, bro, I'm getting you up on stage, and I held it up, and they like, I think like third song in, they're like, I can play Holy, and I was like pointing to my mate.
What you need to do when you come down and party with us, man, is you need to write me out a sign, but doing the same for women.
I have a penis.
My mate's penis is awesome.
I know where the clitoris is.
My mate can play the clitoris really well.
Yeah, no, it was wicked. It was wicked, and I filmed the whole thing too. And
that's really cool, wicked. Especially for a intimate local show.
Like, and he was shitting himself too. He's like, "Fuck, dude." I was like, "Oh, so nervous." I was like, "Yeah, bro, you would have been."
At least the good thing is, like, the only other people there are, like, probably his fucking mates he went to school with. So if he fucks up, like, no one's gonna know. It's not like it's
they packed it out. It was pretty packed out.
Absolutely.
Road. Yeah, it was good. It was a good show.
Anyways,
I ended up getting COVID.
What I wanted to know is right now our podcast is doing I don't know if you saw our podcast. We've got a couple of shows we're doing under the Loud Media banner. It started with this show, obviously, the alternative music podcast, and then things like developed, and I was like, but I want to like satiate my like sort of interest that I have because I'm a film person as well. I've got a film degree from SAE, doing heaps of shit, so I edit and all that sort of stuff. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like doing film and all that too. So we started the Pop Culture podcast, which spawned another show where we were like doing reviews on just movies and whatever. And right now we're doing all the Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah, I saw that.
It timed up perfectly, man. It timed up perfectly that we were getting you guys on as like a cross promotion thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's perfect.
What I wanted to ask was how you got the name.
Yeah.
Oh well, pretty much. I think it was someone said it in passing, just randomly, and they kind of sounded like they accidentally said drastic. I'm just like, huh. So I just kind of had a laugh at it. I was like, when we were thinking of the band names, we knew we wanted something that was like a play on words. Because me and the bassist Chris, we like started the band, and we've always just played in bands that were and we just wanted a play on words kind of as the name. So we had a few ones. I think. Some were a bit too silly. Like I had Viagra Falls as one, but what was the other one? Oh, I had some dumb ones, but
at least they're more clever than what I came up with for our old rap group that we were doing for fun, which was Salty Jizz.
Yeah. It would have done well though. It would have been very noticeable.
Man, we put some songs up and we got some good comments, and I was like, man, this is shit. Like it's terrible.
Why does that remind me of Limp Bizkit?
Yeah. One name is
terrible.
We're gonna do Armageddon Cider, I think, like as in Armageddon Cider.
Oh, yeah.
But then we were just like, nah, maybe not in this day and age. But yeah, and then just Jurassic Park was like, yeah, cool. It's got no meaning, but how good is that movie? So
yeah,
but I think it's also
it's awesome. But let's not forget how bad Jurassic Park 3 is, because
that's I kind of. I mean, I kind of rate them in order of when they came out because obviously, dude, Jurassic Park still to this day has better CGI than half the movies coming out today, and
that's what we talked about on our reviews, man. That's what we talked about.
Yeah, and like I know Lost World gets a bad rap, especially because towards the end, all the random dumb shit that happens, but it's still nostalgically I like it better, and I think the Jurassic Park 3 still has a bit more nostalgic value for me, even though it is garbage. But yeah, I couldn't really get into like all the Jurassic Worlds. Yeah, I watched and enjoyed, but never watched again. They just didn't have any rewatch value for me because that's just the new Hollywood dumb action.
I almost feel like it's like equivalent to what they did with Star Wars with The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
just rehash the same old shit.
I watched it once.
Star Wars, you know. So
although, as much as I enjoyed the first and third of that one, The Last Jedi was so shit.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard terrible things.
I don't think I've ever been in the movie theater and wanted to leave for a Star Wars film, mate, because I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm like, what? What is this? This is so weird. It's so fucking weird.
Man, it's really hard these days, especially when you're like making a follow-up to something as masterful as Jurassic Park. Like that movie was just, it's never going to be like, no one's going to reach that height again with storytelling because it changed storytelling, movies, CGI forever in film. You know what I mean? And Lost World had a lot to live up to and it just didn't meet it. And then Tia Leone ruined number 3. That's all I'm going to say. Eric!
I haven't seen number 3 since I was a kid.
And that ringtone from the phone.
And then, I love how it's so comical how they turn around. This Spinosaurus is just standing there, like just staring at them.
Like, and you would agree that the Spinosaur, the only reason they added that Spinosaur was for toys, because no one cared about the Spinosaurus. I would have been happy that it was just the T-Rex again. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I feel like the Spinosaurus was like, we got to make some money with the toys, you know? So,
yeah, it's funny because I remember back then, I remember going to see it and like, I think there was a preview. There was a preview for the movie and it's like there's something bigger or something like that. And I'm just like, oh, sick, bigger than the T-Rex. It might be my favorite dinosaur, Giganotosaurus. You know what I mean? Or Giganotosaurus, some people call it now. I'm like, really? Giganotta? But yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, just call it Giganotosaurus. Just call it. There's 2 names, Giganotosaurus and Giganotosaurus. I'm just like, just Giganotosaurus is fine.
Like genesect human.
I'm like, because it's actually bigger than T-Rex, whereas Spinosaurus, I'm pretty sure is only bigger than T-Rex on height because of its spine, and that's it. But even now, I think they've figured out that Spinosaurus laid on its belly or some shit. But like, yeah, and then I saw Spinosaurus. I'm like, really? The crocodile with the spine? That's what kills the T-Rex? And then this time, fast forward, how many years is this? Well, like 20 years or something. When did Jurassic Park 3 come out?
Jurassic Park 3 came out 2001.
Yeah, so a bit over 20 years, like 21. I can't do math, fuck. And then they've finally put the Giganotosaurus in the movies. I'm like, but it's too late now because I guarantee it'll be in the movie for like 10 minutes. And when I saw it, sorry, I know we're gonna go on this movie forever now, but
this is what the podcast is about. It's just a conversation, bro.
What was your feelings when you watched the trailer for this latest Jurassic World one?
I had mixed feelings, man. Have you seen the Legacy trailer yet?
The Legacy trailer?
Yeah, there's a new Legacy feature. I can bring it up if you want.
Yeah, sure. But what I was going to say is the trailer started off with them chasing dinosaurs with cowboy hats on horses, and I turned it off. I'm like, I'm done already. And someone had to force me to watch it. They're like, no, watch it. You like it. I'm like, and then I watched it. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. It's bringing back some key characters. That's fun.
All right, so this is the trailer. This is the Legacy trailer, and I wasn't excited for this movie because obviously we're reviewing it on the day it comes out for our ranked and reviewed series. So we're going to watch it. So this got me excited finally that this movie was coming out. I don't know, watch it and you can tell me what you think after, I guess.
I feel like watching this now.
We had an enormous amount of fun on the first film.
Good. Excellent.
There was an energy on set that it was the first time you'd ever seen anything like this.
I was excited about everything that it could be. When I saw the dinosaur in the trailer and I saw the ripples on the water, I was like, oh my gosh. It really defined my generation, this film.
I cried the first time I saw dinosaurs.
God, she's fine.
Suddenly, that which had never seemed real before now was totally real. And I realized at that moment that cinema forever had changed.
Jurassic World Dominion is the culmination of the franchise. It concludes a story that Steven Spielberg started telling in 1993.
When we were making Jurassic World, I knew it was going to be really special. I could never imagine we'd be here working alongside Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern. It's pretty fantastic.
It is so much fun. It is everything we could have ever hoped for and more. I thought it was a fantastic idea to bring these two worlds together.
It's been a great privilege to be a custodian of something like this. Our legacy characters are Jurassic World
Is this
characters.
already out?
No, it's coming out June.
Our
okay.
storylines intersect. It's
Kinda
the
seems like it's
convergence
like a
of the
homage
two
to-
franchises.
And a bottle.
Yeah, okay, right.
And most importantly, go on a true, honest-to-God, scary as hell adventure.
This is what everything has been leading to. I could use your expertise.
You coming or what?
Hold on, guys! Why do they always have to go bigger? Don't move.
So that got me a little bit more excited.
That actually looked
I'm
pretty good.
excited for the movie. I feel weird about the damn horse shit. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the movie, but I know when that scene comes on, I'm just feel like, why? There's always gonna be something that ruins.
Why is it always horses?
everything else looks like, and you know what? The thing is, like, you get a movie like Jurassic Park, which you know, has so much room for sequel, and obviously they did that on purpose. And they do it, not that good. They do another sequel, not that good. And it's like you do need it. You do need it all tied up at some point. And so I'm interested to see how they will tie it up, because the fact of the matter is, if they don't tie it up, they're going to keep making them.
This
Kind of reminds me.
This is great content, man, because now we can do like a breakout video of this if we want to call it Drastic Park on Jurassic Park.
yeah, it's perfect.
That trailer reminds me of the new Spider-Man, like, you know, mixing all the Spider-Mans into the
Which,
one thing.
you know
you
what?
know.
Like, because like, obviously, I'm a boomer, so I just like the old Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, even though they were whack.
Same.
I love how weird they were. It was so good. And then like I tuned out really early in the first Andrew Garfield film, so I didn't follow them at all, and then had no interest
Emma
in.
Stone, though, they were so good.
To be honest, I didn't watch them. I only watched the.
I
ones
still
with
haven't
Toby,
seen.
Yeah.
I'm
haven't
one of
seen
the
Andrew
outliers
Garfield
here
yet.
that actually really likes the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I really like it.
Oh,
Number-
yeah, there you go.
number two, was it?
And
I
I
haven't
just
seen
came
it,
to
so I
terms
can't
that I
say.
like shit movies. A long time ago, I came to this term. So
I just got told that I had to, that it was really good, the most recent Spider-Man, and that you probably have to watch at least the Tom Holland ones. So I watched the first Tom Holland one. I'm like, that was really bad. And I watched the second one. I'm like,
really,
that was
Oh,
okay.
no.
I didn't like Birdman. He was great. Like Tom Holland's a really good Spider-Man. I didn't like Birdman because it felt forced just because that guy was in Birdman, the movie. It felt a bit forced. And I'm like, he's just a shit villain. I don't get it. And also at the end, how like, yeah, it's a really crappy ending. But like, yeah, the one with
because I really love Homecoming.
I mean, dude, it wasn't shit by like Last Jedi standards. You know what I mean? It was still an enjoyable movie, but like, I think I yearn for a bit more in movies. I think, and I thought the next one with Mysterio was way better, and then the nostalgia factor sometimes gets you, hey, and that in that the latest Spider-Man, it's really good. Even though I didn't really know Andrew Garfield, I felt like I knew him. I'm like, I love this character now. I like the guy who played Harry Osborn in it, and how evil and dark he was in the second one. Like, he was like, even when he was like being friendly to Peter, you could tell he was like sinister. You know what I mean? And that was the performance that really captured me liking that movie. I was like, oh, I love this man. Like, he's really, really dark in this movie, So there's like a scene where he catches Emma Watson. No, who is it? Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, sorry. Emma Stone in the lift elevator after he just finished talking to Peter, and like he knows Peter's knows Spider-Man or whatever, and he needs Spider-Man's blood to like continue on living or whatever, and he's like convincing her in a like menacing way to get Peter to get Spider-Man to hand over the blood. He's like, I know you'll do the right thing though, yeah? You know what I mean? Just like really like, yeah, I loved it. So I get captured on performances. So like I'm an outlier too with Batman versus Superman, where I really like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor and how he's so like mental throughout the movie and sort of like chaotic with his like psychosis and all that sort of thing he's going through. And I think he gave a really energetic and fun performance where it made me giggle. It made me like get into him. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on what you're looking for in those movies, So
yeah, I think on the other spectrum, the other side of the spectrum is like the actors are a bonus, but like I'm a sucker for a good story. Obviously, you can't have a good story without good actors, otherwise. Just distracts from the story, but that's probably why I haven't even seen Batman vs Superman, because I'm just like,
I like it, but
it might be good. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think it's actually difficult to suck me into things. You know what I mean? Like,
let me get you a little mind blowing fact about Jurassic Park, though. Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
In that movie, there is 14 minutes of dinosaurs. That's it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I'm not a sucker for spectacle either. Like, it doesn't like. What makes that so good is that there is time in between the dinosaurs, and that's when you see it. It's like amazing, and that's probably where Jurassic World and stuff falls down, because
they're constantly there.
It's all spectacle.
Yeah. And I didn't watch Jurassic World at all. I think I started watching it and then. But again, I'm a comedy type of guy, so I don't really watch.
Well, me too. Yeah.
Action.
I like comedies a lot too, but I've suddenly found myself really digging like slasher movies as well. Like, I've always kind of liked slasher movies, like Halloween, Scream, all those things.
Oh yeah.
Since we started the podcast, and especially Ranked and Reviewed, where we like ranked and reviewed every Scream movie, and we went to the movies of Scream, like the day Scream came out this year, and then we're going to see all the Halloween. We're going to see the new Halloween movie. We're going to do all the Halloween movies this year, and I'm like really loving that, not horror but slasher, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really dig horror movies, but slasher movies I'm a big fan of, So like, as I've gotten older, like, I was a comedy dude, like with Pineapple Express and movies like that mainly, and then I moved on to like liking that stuff still, but finding more joy in like the big blockbusters and things, not Marvel but DC and things like that. So
yep
Batman. But anyways, let's get back to some music talk, because that was
I was really enjoying it. I'm just kidding.
Like you said that you started the band with the bassist, yeah?
Yeah.
So how did the band form? Like, what was the like inception and things like that? How did it come about?
Well, Chris is my cousin, and I've been playing with him since I was 15 and he was 18. In our first ever little emo band back in the day. And we've been in and out of bands. We've probably been in about 5-6 bands together, and he's probably been in about 7 bands, and I've been in about 15, and they've all failed miserably. And it got to the point where just we got pretty far with this one band called Intimate Apparel, worst band name ever. We just supported Red Jumpsuit Apparatus and Hawthorne Heights, and then the drummer left because he got a job for the government, a really high paid job up in Canberra, and then the other singer of that band left because that was his cousin. And anyway, it all just fell apart. And then we tried to piece together a few other bands, but nothing worked. There was always at least one member that kind of like, didn't pull their weight or something. And then we just both agreed we gave up music, and that was it. And and so weren't doing music anymore. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna start a family. So met my now wife, and then had my son. And when he was born, I started feeling anxiety for the first time ever. I'd never really experienced it, and like it was anxiety about crib death. So I wrote a song called Little Things. Like it just inspired me to write. It was the first time I'd ever been inspired to write, rather than just writing for the sake of writing. Like I used to write Black too, like songs about dicks and girls, and you know what I mean. And then all of a sudden I had something serious to write. So I wrote it, recorded it, demoed it myself, and then sent it to Chris. He's like, "Oh shit, this is good. Let's give it one more crack." And so we never wanted to take it seriously. We just wanted to do it off to the side because we were both like working full time and doing our own thing. Like let's just do a little side project. So I just got the drummer from Interception, and because he wanted to do some a bit less metalcore stuff just on the side. And we were playing for a bit, not taking it too seriously, and then we got, for whatever reason, I don't know, we just got coaching with a guy called Steve Canatelli. To improve on our live performance a bit. But he did so much more, because what he actually did was he actually pulled us aside and said, "You've got really good songs. Why aren't you taking it seriously?" And we're just like, because it never works out. He's like, "You got to try with these ones. These are really good." So we did, and it got to the point where we were starting to do pretty well, and then we were getting too busy for the drummer who was already in another band, which was a lot more further ahead than us. So we went and chose them, and then we were lucky enough to get Joe, a new drummer who had just left his band Steadfast. And then things kind of like really took off, and we all clicked for the first time ever. For the first time ever, we'd had 3 members in the band that were just clicking and all wanted the same thing and all wanted to work hard. And it, all kind of flourished from there. So yes, how the band started from literally essentially 3 guys quitting music because Joe had also had a rough trot, and he just wanted to quit music too and just move on with life. And then he got his second chance with us, and it's been the best band any of us have been in. Yeah.
That's what's crazy. You go, and I'll come in after.
I just had a question. During the time that you had quit, were you still writing and things like that, or did you sort of just like here and there, like thought of something and wrote it, or wasn't until you had your son that really sparked it again?
Well, I think I bought a guitar that was specific for just surf music, like surf indie stuff, just because I wanted to play around. And I was not really writing songs; I was just playing around. I wasn't taking it seriously. But then, when
so
that
just
happened,
doing it to
just doing it to
like you just pull it out and you have fun, like
I think I was playing more. I think I was playing more drums. I think I was just trying to get all the energy out on drums and stuff. And I don't think Chris was playing his instruments at all. I think we just and then it was the first song I just wrote the song in full, just because I was inspired. And it came from the lyrics too, like just writing the lyrics. And I think it came at the right time where I'd gone back and started listening to the self-titled album by Blink-182. I remember thinking, like, you know what? No one's ever really done it. No one's ever really done that sound. The kind of the octave guitars with the open droning note and like the bass chords and stuff, and like the intricate drums. I'm like, I'm just gonna try and write a song like that. And then it ended up being a bit different to that, but it was
like your own thing. Yeah.
I think we've always had our own thing, and it has been a bit too much, but like Blink-182. I think we're trying to go away from that a little bit and try and do even more our own thing. But
Well, it sounded good, man.
Oh, thank you.
It sounded good.
What I really like about that story is that it kind of mimics my story in music, I guess. Well, see, I started in 2005-ish, 2004 with a band in high school, like year 9, year 8. So we were too young to play older venues and shit, but we blew up and we started playing like huge crowds. we started playing like with the Getaway Plan. We started playing with Behind Crimson Eyes. We started playing with Parkway Drive. I Killed the Prom Queen. All these wicked bands, and we kept going and kept going, and then like we broke up, and me and the singer kept going and started a new band, and we got really good and big with that, and we started playing with like City Escape, Closure in Moscow, Antiskeptic. We kept playing with Forgiven Rival, Atticus, I think they're called. There's a few other bands. And then we broke up there, and then me and the singer kept going again and started another band called I Confess, and we started playing huge shows with that and doing really well with that too. And then I kind of I had my son in 2013, and in 2014 I sort of gave up and decided that was it for me, because I wanted to focus on, first of all, A, getting sober, and B, concentrating on what I needed to concentrate on. That was with my son. And it took me from 2014 till probably 2017 and shit to get like properly sober. Then I got my film school stuff going on and all that. My son's 9 now, but I'm slowly going back to being a drummer in a band again, and I'm finding a reason to be in a band again. Is that I've realized how much I miss playing the drums, how much I miss performing, hearing my songs recorded, how good it feels, you know what I mean, releasing things. And yeah, I basically look at it like this is the last go for me. Once this is done, if this doesn't work out, I don't know if I'll join another band, and if I do, I would want to join something already successful. I wouldn't want to start it from the ground up again, because it's too much work.
Starting from the ground up is so hard. It's exactly. So much work. And then you got to like find, you know, you'll think, oh yeah, they play guitar, and then you get them in for a jam, and they just don't know like what you know. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And you're just like, oh, well, it's gonna be so much work.
It took me this long to find the members that wrote the way I felt like I used to write and like writing, and the songs that the style that I want to play. Like, yeah, we're kind of like doing mid 2000s, early 2000s sort of post-hardcore sayers and stuff, but we're trying to put a new spin on it with like a bit of hip-hoppy stuff, a bit of like electronic stuff, all that. So we're going to come back out this year with sort of like a mid 2000s vibe, and we're going to like scream it proud, because that's what I want to play, you know what I mean, just with a bit more emphasis on the electronic and hip hop.
I think that scene is coming back too. Like, you know, that's exactly what I want to play as well, with my own personal shit. But you know, but again, back to the members thing, you know, when it clicks,
it does.
Like, I know what you're saying, Stokesy, when like you can just tell when it's working. Because you're like, hey, and they're like looking at you, and you're like, fuck.
You can also tell when it's not as well, man. You know what? I hate trying out vocalists, because it's like you're on Australian Idol or American Idol, and you're like, all right, so see ya. You know what I mean? Has there been any interesting stories of you guys ever trying out someone and you were like, ooh, can you go now so we can get back to rehearsing?
I've never really had tryouts or anything. I just knew people around town and was like, yeah, I've heard you play, you're good. And then I'll get someone over here, and then and then it worked. So
what about you, Stokesy?
Not in this band, really. Like with this band, well, don't know if you call it a tryout, but our first drummer, we probably didn't click writing wise. Like, I wanted some more punky beats, and he was more hardcore, so it didn't really click there. And then we did audition a drummer who was really good, and we were going to go with him until Coach Canatelli messaged us and he said, trust me, just choose this guy. Like, you'll choose him as soon as you meet him. And he was right. As soon as we met him, we're like, okay, well, shit. And so the other guy, we definitely, I don't know if we ever clicked writing wise, because he just kind of learnt the songs. But yeah, like he was good. So no real stories in this one. But oh man, I've had some. when I was trying to organize like punk bands, like after that last one failed, like in between this and this band and that band, like I was trying to do my own thing and get my own bands, and I was putting messages on like Melbourne musicians and stuff, and like saying I basically said I want to do Blink-182 type stuff, yeah. And I had I was trying to find drummers because they're the hardest to find, and that's my opinion anyway. And then so one answered, and then I met him, and like I almost knew straight away from his look. He had a completely like metal punk look kind of thing. Like he was just totally all fully tattooed and stuff. I'm like, I have a feeling this isn't your thing, and it wasn't. Like we didn't click at all. It was nice, but then there was this one. It was an absolute horror story. So I said, look, I want to start a band like Blink-182, and this guy is like, yeah, I can play drums. Yeah, sick. Yeah, let's do it. I'm keen to start a band. I'm like, yeah, sweet, come over. I'm like, can you play this song? Can you play this Travis Barker beat? He's like, yeah, 100%. He comes over, and it was so he didn't have the sense of timing, and so he kind of just hit the drums, and then he's like, oi, dude, check it out. Look, I don't even need a double kick. And he was trying to double kick with one foot, and he's just going boop, 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 boop. I'm like watching him, and he's like, and then we having a chat. I'm trying to get him out of the house, and he's like, yeah, Blink-182 shit, eh? Like, I'm like, bro. Anyway, he's like, and then he's like, oh, can you drive me home? I'm like, sure. So I went to drive him home. Anyway, I'm like,
the whole way home.
Oh my gosh! And we stopped for petrol, and this is where the horror story gets the worst. I just got stopped for petrol. He's like, yeah, all good. And then as I'm doing the petrol, he just leans out of the car and puts out his cigarette on the ground at a petrol station. I'm like, what are you doing?
Shit.
Mate? Anyway, and then it was so funny at the end of the ride. He's just like, oh, I feel like I found a friend in you. Like I'm really happy. Like I don't make many friends. I'm like, fuck, man.
I can tell why.
Why? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, cool, man. And I just, I don't think I've ever ghosted someone before. I just ghosted him so bad. I'm like,
you got to sometimes, man. Sometimes you just got to, because like it's easier to ghost them than break their heart. Sometimes.
Yeah, and like if he wasn't even nice, I should have just broken.
Yeah, if they're not nice, you should have just been like, fuck out of here.
I had the same. I had a very similar situation happen when I was trying to find someone to like drum for. And he's invited me over, so I packed up my little electric kit and went over and fucking get there, and he was like trying to play like Linkin Park and stuff, but he couldn't keep it in time. Like it would be like I'm trying to play like a beat, and he's just like like going like fast and slow. I can't even do it because of and I was just like, oh my god, I don't know how to do this. So I just. It was nice though. Like I feel kind of bad for him because he obviously wants to do music and shit, but he just couldn't keep time. So I was suggesting stuff like, maybe you should like play to a metronome for a bit and like get used to the timing and stuff. Like try and make him a bit better. But yeah, it's pretty difficult.
Sometimes what they need is just to play with others of their talent level. Yeah. I think that's the issue that some musicians don't get a chance to do that because they're too busy. Trying to jump into bands with proper professional musicians. And like I think me and Chris were lucky. Like our growth as musicians has come from playing with, shit drummers in our early days. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't say shit. When I say shit, as in they were starting drummers. So I'm not going to call them shit. Like they were starting out like us. And so when you build together, that's how you get tight as musicians. Whereas
100%.
Sometimes you'll get thrown in with like a good drummer, and then because you're out of time or you're crappy, like it will just fall apart. And like they need to move on from you, man. Like it's like they're out of your league. I think we've always been within our kind of skill level with what we've been doing. So.
Yeah, it's the same thing with us, man, which is that, like, because we got really good at pretty young age, like, it's hard to go into a group, especially when I filled in for groups and stuff like that for a rehearsal or whatever, and I get there and I'm already there going, in my head, I wish I could tell the other members of this band that guitarist is just not capable, because I've had a couple of times where guitarists just don't have timing, and you're like, they say they can't play to a metronome or they don't want to learn, and you're like, but that's what's going to get you better. And also, if you're playing live, a lot of the time you will need to play with a metronome, and if you don't, that's fine, but like you need to be good at timing if that's your choice, you know what I mean? So
I was fortunate enough to play drums before I picked up any other instrument, so
I picked up guitar,
had that sense of timing.
I picked up guitar when I was 7 or 8, and then I picked up drums at about 10. And I'm still drumming now, and I'm 30, nearly 34. So
do you play guitar and stuff as well? Still,
yeah,
or?
I actually am better at
Little bit.
guitar now than I ever was, and it's just from me fucking around on Cody's guitar and learning songs by ear on YouTube while like listening to Limp Bizkit or whatever. And I've been teaching myself like I taught myself Take a Look Around and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
Taught myself I Eat You Alive and all those songs. So I feel like I'm better now, so I can write riffs and stuff like that. But it's not lead riffs; it's more like rhythm.
Just rhythm. Yeah, I'm a rhythm player too. Yeah.
But
what about you, Stokesy? Do you play anything else as well, or just mainly guitar? Or
I started. I mean, before my punk, I went back to punk. Like, obviously, I grew up listening to like two, and then I moved over to like emo, and then started listening to like hardcore, and then I went right to mathcore. Man, I was playing Architects type stuff. Like, I was going. I've got videos of me on Facebook like playing like early Grave and stuff, and like I was playing math rock, like the tappy stuff, and then I think it's just guitar was my calling. I always wanted to be a vocalist, and so I just kept. I've never been an amazing vocalist, but like I used to be shocking to the point where my dad was like, don't. Like, and like he just don't. He's like, it's really bad, it's like a cat dying. But then now he listens to me. He's like, I don't know how that happened, but well done. Like,
you can train it, eh?
Yeah, sure. And so I just started playing power chords, straight up power chords, and like octave chords in pop punk, just so I could focus on singing and playing at the same time.
What tuning?
Oh,
bit of everything.
Now, yeah, so we have been doing in D flat standard, and then often sometimes tune that to B, drop B.
Drop B, yeah.
That depending on what we're doing, and then but I also fly capos all around too, like because the songs up until now have always had a droning open note where no matter what I'm playing, that open note's always going. That was kind of like the direction we were going in, the style. That's that self-titled Blink-182 kind of style. But yeah, now with Deadline, we've just dropped Deadline, and now we're trying to. We realize like they've kind of done as much as we could there, and I think I realized I have to start doing more on guitar. I have to be a bit more impressive on guitar, and so I've been trying to like awaken my old guitar skills, which is it's actually really like I've lost a lot of muscle memory, to be honest. Like the kind of riffs and stuff I used to be playing and the solos, and I used to almost be able to sweep, and now I've just lost it. I think my fingers have just gotten fat and old, but yeah. So I'm
with my drumming, man, is I just didn't drum enough, and because I was constantly high when I was drumming as well, when I was shows, which by the way, look, as much as it was a bad time for my health and my mental state and all that, man, it was the best at the same time as well. And I never go back to doing that. Like, the laser focus and the energy, and like, dude, I'd be like 10 minutes before on stage, like smoking meth, and it was stupid, you know what I mean? But like, I'd smoke ice, and then they'd be like sound check or whatever, or they'd be like 10 minutes, and I'd be like, yep, in a minute. I'd be like, just and then I'd jump on stage and just be like, let's fucking do it, and I'd put on a sick show. And now I'm trying to come back after all this time and get my drumming back up to the level it was. But I'm not under the influence like I was. So it's
do you feel like you're fresher, or like
I actually do feel fresher, man, because towards the end of my drumming I confess, like with Circumcision, the first band I was in, like the drumming and everything we did and the music we wrote was like, we were inspired to write that music, which is what you exactly said about your child, it inspired you to write something. So when I first discovered like making this music from like the bands like The Used and things like that, and decided we were going to do that, we were really inspired and we wanted to be awesome. So every lunch at high school, we were rehearsing, we were doing this, we were playing shows, we were rehearsing after school at my house, and we were all inspired. And then every band that went on from there, it kind of got less about being inspired and more about just doing music as a band. So my drumming became sort of repetitive. I'd just be like, double time, half time, whatever, like fill here, double kick bit here, you know what I mean? Like it was the same formula. And by the end of I confess, because I was so into drugs, and I was more into drugs than I think I was into music at that point in my life now, that my drumming just was whatever then, you know what I mean? Like I could play and I was good, but it was like whatever to me. Now, now I've realized that I'm way more creative with what I'm trying to do. I'm way more targeted with what I'm aiming to do, and I'm also like can just put songs on and just like by 2 or 3 goes, I can pretty much play it. I might click the sticks or I might tap a rim here or there, you know what I mean? But majority of it, I'm getting the song better than I would have ever got it previously. So sometimes it can take a step like walking away from music for a bit or finding a new lease on life or finding a different creative output and then coming back to it with a fresh mindset, a fresh goal and a fresh band to work with to really heighten that back to being inspired again, which is exactly what's happened to me. So
yeah, for sure.
Music is all about feeling, inspiration, and the want to get better. I think that's what music really is.
I reckon music is just loving it. You know what I mean? The love for it. Because
a special kind of love.
I have not stopped. Like I've had moments. I'm going through a moment now where it's like, fuck, I want to quit, but I still keep going, man. Like.
Sorry,
and I know, and I think
I always forget.
Who, me?
Yeah.
25.
See, man, how old are you, Stokesy?
I just turned 30 on Monday.
Yeah.
30.
See,
happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
My birthday's actually in like 16 days or some shit like that. So
Nice.
like I kind of went through that period of music, like quitting music around the 28-year-old mark. You know what I mean? So it's been a long time since I've been in that scene and whatever, but I do feel like it's not going to take me that long to get back to it, considering I only just got an electric drum kit, like a month ago, if that, and I hadn't played much before that, and now I'm playing 3 hours a day and being able to rip shit that I never once could. Like I was playing Writing on the Walls from Under Oath, and I did that all by ear, and that's not an easy song, but yeah, man, like I'm glad to hear that that's what Drastic Park kind of was like formed around, which is being inspired again by something, because a lot of time bands are just formed for the sake of like, let's become something or whatever. You guys just went with the flow, and that's
more egotistical, sort of like, let's do this rather than, you know, like we've got this thing going and we're having fucking fun and it works, let's do it.
Exactly.
And you can see it in your music videos too, Stokesy.
Which is exactly what I wanted to talk about. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about at the end of the show. Because we're getting to the end of the show, and obviously we thank you a lot for being on. But before we go, I wanted to talk about how you guys came up with the concept for Deadline and how you got it filmed, how you managed to get it filmed, and like what the reception's been like so far. Because if everyone hasn't checked it out, you've got to go check this music video out.
Geez.
It's so good.
So how much time have I got? Like,
as long as you want, and there is no time limit, but we try to respect your time. You know what I mean?
Well, to start things off, like you, obviously, I done film school and stuff. So I've been working professionally in video production for like the past 7 to 8 years, and so I think I've only ever done a few music videos up until the past few years, where I've just boomed and done a few more for other bands and stuff. But like I've done every single one of my band's music videos. Some, obviously some others have shot, some I've shot myself. Like we shot Meltdown ourselves and stuff, and little things we got a huge crew for. Like we had something like 15 crew shooting in a forest over a bunch of nights and stuff. And I produced that one and I edited that one. So I've edited every single one. This one, we really wanted to go all out with. And so look, I'll start back to the beginning of when the song was written, because I always wanted to do a short film where I've got kids watching a TV, and then they're watching a kids TV show, and then all of a sudden, the like a play school type person kills the other host or something, and then crawls out of the TV and chases the kids down the street, like just some kind of silly short film. And as I was like writing Deadline, like I was thinking of a bridge. I'm like,
what's the song about?
What's the Deadline about?
Yeah,
Deadline is about basically deadlines. It's literally about deadlines. It's about essentially parents and life putting deadlines on kids and like, you know, all the way through school and like work, you're always working to deadlines until you reach the ultimate deadline of death. It's kind of like we're all just running this rat race, and like how this expectation is put on kids even at an early age to reach deadlines. That's why so early in the music video you get the mum, you know, say like, can we watch Drastic Park on TV? And she's like, yes, but only for 5 minutes. They've already got a deadline. And so at the end, when the mum turns into the bunny, it's kind of like suggesting like just by doing that and like throwing deadlines at your kids and stuff, and putting these time limits on things. And time limits is what creates stress. Majority of stress in life is just like leading kids to their dead end, which is one of the lyrics in there too. So that's what that song's all about. Now, the music video, so obviously as I'm writing the song, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be the best to just put a breakdown in the middle of this pop punky song kind of thing? And so I did it. I'm like, it's kind of gone from like super happy to super dark. And that's exactly like my short film idea. So I kind of fashioned the song to that idea, right down to the fact that there was double kicks for a machine gun. And
yeah, that works so good.
Our producer said, I don't like the double kicks. I'm like, but they got to stay because of the music video. Also, they're awesome. He wanted to get rid of the whole breakdown. I'm like, nah, I've got a music video playing, mate. It's not happening. And it's been our best song received to date, like especially the music video.
Oh, dude, it's wicked. I love it.
But it's got another meaning to it too. And like when we're killed, it's supposed to symbolize that we're actually killing off our old sound. We're actually going in a bit of a new direction. And so that breakdown onwards is like supposed to be like the rebirth of what we're doing kind of thing. And kind of we've been slowly easing people into our, because it's hard going from so pop punk to you know, we went from Meltdown, which had one little scream, to Snakes and Ladders, slightly heavier riffs with a couple screams, and then Lost with big screamy outro, and then we're just like full breakdown for you. And so that's kind of a little hint at, you know, what's to come over our next song. So
are you screaming in it? Is that you?
Yeah. I do all the screams. Yeah. Because I only discovered I could scream probably late into recording. I think. Oh, what did we do? I think we did a parody of with Canatelli. We did a parody of Gladys Berejiklian of Linkin Park, and I just started screaming on the lyrics. I'm like, hey, I think I can scream. And so I practiced it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can scream. So we started putting in songs. Yeah, but nice. The music video, shout out to all the crew because I obviously directed that myself, but I needed someone awesome to shoot it. So I got David Trewisham, and he was originally from Sydney. He's come back down to Melbourne now. And I used to work at I worked at the Melbourne office of the same company that he worked in the Sydney office. And so he's awesome. And I've worked with Andy, our gaffer, and he's like this rock star lighting dude. He's basically a rock star. He's like, but he's also like, he's this American dude, and he just has the craziest stories, and he's always chewing tobacco. Anyway, awesome character, but like it's so weird. But it was the first music video we've done where we actually put effort into costume and backdrops. Because
it was really well done. Like I thought, really well done.
And we got like prosthetic neck done and stuff. The slit throat. And I just did all the. It was actually my first time doing CGI blood. Actually, like I'd never really.
Is it CGI'd?
Yeah, it's all.
Not like fake. Like
so that
sort of thing, or
that's the throat slitting was fake. So
what is it? Just like a fake throat or something?
Usually with a bladder inside it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. It's basically Brooke Carson, who did the special effects makeup. It's basically just she makes a little like a mold of like a ripped up throat, and then puts it onto the throat, and then layers it and blends it until it becomes part of his throat, and then also colors it to his skin color and stuff. And
right.
So
you
really
shoot
cool.
Before and after sort of thing. Is that
before and after, and then so and then I think all the rest of the blood was even the blood seeping out of Chris and Joe on the floor is actually CGI.
I'll go back. I'll go have a look again, and I'll
have a look.
Have a harder
look. You just
look,
use After Effects, I'm guessing for all this stuff.
Just After Effects, just lots of tracking and surprisingly, the easiest part was me getting shot up. Like
That's awesome, bro.
all the bullet holes and stuff. They just tracked to. I don't know how they just tracked so well. I'm like,
I'm guessing you did
that.
I'm guessing the like flashes from the muzzle as well were After Effects, yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of effects like like there's actually a lot of After Effects. Like the bunny suit actually had see-through eyes, so I had to black out all the eyes frame by frame.
Oh shit.
So yeah, there's a lot of work, but it's good fun when you work in your own music video and you can put more time in. But yeah,
that's what I plan on doing with our music videos, man. Because as I said, I went to SAE. I've done film. I actually started video editing when I was in year 7 for jackass / skateboarding videos we made in high school. And yeah, like I've just loved video editing, and I went to school and I learned to write and direct.
Yeah, see. I know your band will flourish because something I've noticed that the most successful bands always have at least one person creatively in the band that creates content. And
that's the hardest part too.
That's the thing, because it's super hard when you have to pay someone all the time, and we would not be able to get where we are like if it wasn't for the fact that I just love making shit all the time. So,
yeah, well, see, I'm the same dude with like content where I want to make content, but I also love the promotion part. I love seeing the analytics and seeing how it tracks, and I get
me too.
I can spend hours like just doing that sort of stuff, man. So like I've already kind of taken on the role that I'll do like the social media stuff, like all that, and also the design of the music videos, direct them if we have to. I can get the equipment crew, you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly.
It is really good when you're a band and you can sort of do like a home job on those things, but make it still professional enough that people aren't going to look at it and go, "That's a home job." You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm just gonna duck out and.
That's all right. We're about to end, man. Anyway, so.
Oh righto. Well, I'll stay for a little bit.
Just because we're going for nearly an hour and 10 minutes, we try to keep it at the hour mark, just because it's a long conversation and people.
All right, fun conversation.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. Like before we kind of ended, is there anything that you wanted to promote coming up, or?
Yeah, any shows in Brisbane, hopefully.
So we're so eager to go to Brisbane, but I think we're waiting. We're waiting for essentially to be invited. You know, in a way, we're waiting for a headlining band to go up there, because we're not quite ready to headline up there. Because we've got a all right following up there based on like stats and stuff, but our two cities we're comfortable with, Melbourne and Sydney, and to some extent Adelaide. Yeah. But Adelaide's a tough one because it's like, there's the live music scene's a bit weird there. Like people buy tickets last minute and stuff. We're gonna do our own headline run. We're just locking in dates at the moment. So it'll probably just be 2 states, nothing too hectic.
That's cool. We definitely when our band pops off, we definitely want to try and jump on some shows with you guys, you know what I mean?
Fuck yeah. Like what kind of music is it again?
It's sort of like we're doing like Sayus and sort of
that's right, yeah.
Sort of, and then Falling in Reverse sort of stuff. So you know,
dude, Falling in Reverse. I know Ronnie Radke gets a bad rap, but
dude, I love him, and
I love him too.
I wish I could sing like that, dude. Hit that, and outstanding writer too. Like you can just tell
song.
Him coming straight from Escape the Fate to retain that sound is like, it was all him.
Dude, he's the best.
Like, right down to him saying, "Oh, you play this solo." You know what I mean? Like, it's not saying he wrote the solos, but he's like, here's where the solo has to be that good.
He already said that when people ask him who writes the songs or who recorded the songs, he's always like, "Well, I wrote them because the band is me." Like,
yeah.
Band is just a backing band, and they swap very frequently. Like whoever's playing, like in one music video, the Black Veil Bride's drummer's playing on the music video, and then he's got what's the other guy?
Luke Holland.
Yeah, Luke Holland at the moment is in the band
on
drums.
Fucking crazy, man.
So like, he's talented as man, Ronnie Radke, and Falling in Reverse. People that sleep on him, I don't know what they're missing, like what they think they want, what they want to hear. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Falling in Reverse almost ticks a lot of boxes.
You know what? Ronnie Radke, he's a cunt, but he owns it. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that just owns being a cunt. Whereas what you don't like is the musicians out there that hide themselves being a cunt, and they're the And that's why when people like call Ronnie Radke out for being like a pedo and stuff, I'm just like, see, I don't know, because I feel like that dude just doesn't lie. Like he tells you when he's done something bad.
He's an honest cunt.
He was super nice. He was super nice. He's got a daughter. Yeah. He's got a daughter who he brings out on stage, and she's
I love it. Like, yeah, he's not afraid to say what he thinks, and
people just think he's a criminal because of his past and things like that. But if you know
that wasn't, it's like that wasn't even like directly him though.
You know what I mean? He went to jail for murder. It was that he missed probation sort of stuff because he was on drugs. You know, he didn't like. That's what he went to jail for, was not reporting to his parole officer.
Does that mean he will never be able to come to Australia? Sorry,
no, he's been here.
No,
I've seen him.
They can come.
I've seen him 3 times now. Yeah,
I saw him at Now. I think he was a bit off, as in not performance wise. I think he had this look of I don't want to be there kind of thing.
Well, I saw him at Download, and he was really good at Download Festival. Limp Bizkit, who I saw afterwards.
Yeah.
And then I saw him with Escape the Fate for the Bury the Hatchet tour when they toured together. And then I saw him as well with some other bands at billboards too. So he's a really good dude. He's friendly, but he doesn't give you more than he feels like he needs to when you meet him. So like when I met him, I said, "Hey man, how are you?" And he goes, "Hey man, how are you? Nice to meet you." And then walked away, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've met Underoath as well, and they sort of like were a lot more talkative. I mean, the most talkative band I met was Hollywood Undead. They were awesome dudes. They were really lovely, and the Used are really lovely dudes too. Bert wasn't so very lovely the first time I met him. He was a bit of an asshole, but he realized he was being an asshole in the middle of it when I called him a cunt to his face. So he got a photo with
you get that though, eh?
Bert McCunton.
I liked Fever 333. They were wicked.
They're an awesome band, man.
They're so down to earth too. Like the drummer's awesome, like, dude. Bro, make sure you keep playing drums. Like the proper American accent. He's just like, I'm like, you guys are wicked. I had chat with the singer for like half an hour.
I think one of the Hollywood Undead guys asked me if I knew where to get some good coke. And then he went to jail for coke, I think. But then he got
shit.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, man. It was an awesome conversation. I can't wait till we put up Drastic Park on Jurassic Park. That's going to be awesome. But yeah, we'd love to have you back and the members back again on a future episode when you want to promote more stuff or when you have
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, we've had The Last Martyr on. We've had a few other bands on. So we want the small bands, the big bands. We want whoever, and we want to give light and promotion to those Melbourne/Australian bands.
I think it's a good way to meet other people, to like bands especially as well. You know.
It really is.
Muso to muso,
you know, interact with other musicians, build a relationship, but not just that. It's also good to learn from each other too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Have a good chat about music. So
100%.
Again, man. If everyone hasn't gone and done so yet, go check out Drastic Park's new video, Deadline. It's awesome, and especially if you're a big Wiggles fan, you'll love this. You know, and go check out their Facebook too. Give them a like and a follow. And yeah, again, thank you, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a really good
conversation. Thanks, Stokesy.
I'm glad you had fun.